Hello and welcome to Studio Nicole. I'm Nicole and I'm so glad that you're here. Today I had no microphone when I recorded this, so I'm doing a voiceover, which is a little different for me. The project that I'm doing is also a little bit different. I am painting a squirrel today. I'm going to sketch it out and then paint it with watercolor. My son asked me for a squirrel, a custom squirrel. Nothing particularly fancy about it. I just took this picture from Google Images and printed it out on regular paper and taped it up so that I could use it as a reference as I was sketching. I did speed this up considerably because it ended up taking about 40 minutes or so in real time, and I didn't feel like you wanted to watch 40 minutes of me sketching. So I have sped this up, I think it's 10 times speed. I am not like a super professional artist in terms of, like drawing skills or even watercolor painting. Please do not watch this video and think that you are getting a master class in how to sketch a squirrel or how to paint with watercolors. But I managed to do okay. It's just a matter of kind of recreating the shapes on the page before you. I definitely have to use a reference. I could never sketch I don't think I could ever sketch a squirrel just from my mind. I know some people do that. I don't know how. I have to use a reference photo. But with a reference photo, I usually do a fairly good job of sort of like recreating it. At least it's recognizable as a squirrel. And that's, kind of what matters. So I started with pencil, I erased the lines with a kneaded eraser, and then I went back over it with this Micron 0.05. I wanted something waterproof because I knew I was going to watercolor over it. So these are, let's see, what are these? What kind of watercolors are these? I feel like I know this, but I, for some reason, cannot think of it off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably think about it, or it'll come to me as soon as I'm done recording, of course. But yeah, these are. I don't think I needed like the widest variety of colors, but I did want these particular browns that were in this set. So I start with a light wash, and then I go in and add detail in darker colors. At some point I switch to a white pen to try to give it a little bit of highlighting, and then I end up going back over it with another wash of watercolor so that the pen doesn't feel too choppy on top of the watercolor. You can see I'm leaving some areas really light. It's easier with watercolor to darken the painting and add layers than it is to remove color from areas that you want to remain light. So I am leaving some areas lighter, darkening other areas, started adding in some background. I do go in with a couple of different layers. I did a light green, and then I did a blue, and then I did a darker green, just to add some depth and dimension to the background. A few layers of drying in between these watercolor layers. And yeah, you should be able to see. We should be coming back to it. I feel like this is pretty close to the end. Oh no, the tail. I didn't like how dark the tail was and how those watercolor stripes kind of like really showed up. So this is where I brought in the white pen that I was talking about. It's a Uniball Signo, and I really struggle with white pen. Like I have a hard time finding one that I like, but that one works okay. But then I didn't like it on top of the watercolor. I didn't think that it blended in well. It stood out too much, and so I did another watercolor wash over top of the white, just so that I would have the lightened areas, but the pen wasn't really apparent. It didn't stand out as much. And so this is the finished product. This is what I ended up with. Again, it's not a professional squirrel portrait by any means, and I'm definitely not a professional watercolor artist, but it certainly looks like a squirrel, and I'm pretty satisfied with it at, you know, under those circumstances. I did stop here and talk a little bit about the 100-day project, which is starting tomorrow, February 22nd, and I'm going to be doing 100 days of I've got watercolor on the brain. I'm so sorry. I'm doing 100 days of mixed media techniques. And so I hope that you'll join me for that. I am excited to try some new things and record some experiments with some techniques that I'm already comfortable with. I think it'll be a fun project, and it's going to keep me busy. I probably won't be doing every single day for 100 days. I know I won't, actually, because I have some trips and some busy times coming up. But I will get 100 days in eventually. So if you would like to come along with me for that, it won't be fun watercolor squirrel painting every day, but maybe that's a good thing. We'll be doing some fun stuff. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you had a good time with this video. I appreciate you joining me, and I am super happy to see you in a future video. So subscribe and come along for all the fun.